You've got to come off the chair because I need to record. Look at this. That's it, out the way. Today we're talking about time management and side hustles. This channel, for now at least, is very much my side hustle. And recently people have been asking me, how are you managing to publish regularly on YouTube, edit, all of that, whilst working a full day job? Well, here are my 9 rules for how to keep that side hustle working for you. Come on then, let's not mess around, we've got things to do. Hello, welcome back to Better Creating. If you are new here though, my name's Simon and this channel's about simplifying creative life. So I make videos about productivity, living a more intentional life, creating better content. Now I'm back rehearsing and producing theatre productions, which is my day job, in the week, keeping a YouTube channel like this running could easily lead to burnout and, well, a very lonely kitten. I'm so sorry. Pepper's new and I can't help it. Over the last year of running this channel, I've really discovered a few things that can really help anyone looking to manage their time better, create more consistent content, or develop a new venture. Whether you've had dreams of starting something on the side, want to gear shift your hobby into a business, or you are battling with how to balance your current side hustle with your day job, these 9 rules I think could really help. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what your challenges are at the moment, what's your side hustle, let's see what people are making happen. My rule number 1 is knowing your why. So I think most of us are good at expressing what we do, or even how we do it, but we often spend far less time identifying and clarifying why we do something. Now I believe that in the end, a great side project is built on 3 key principles: the vision and the passion that drives it, the fun of doing it, and the value it provides. I would think for most people a side hustle begins as a passion, right? A hobby, but turning that hobby into something more serious can easily just suck all the joy out of it. And that's why I think it's so important to know why you're doing it and what benefit it offers to you. As Derek Shivers says, it's either hell yeah or no when it comes to choosing something. So before starting something, a project in your life, I think just make sure it fits that maxim for whatever reason: fun, learning, development, experience, whatever it is you're getting from it. And I think a great way to live by this maxim of hell yeah or no is to start your year with a goal setting exercise. I've got a video on how to do that process in a yearly review if you'd like to see that. I think it really helps. And secondly, for a side hustle to be viable in the longer term, like any business, we have to understand the value it offers to others. What problem is it solving? Whether that product is something that people need, the learning they can undertake, or the entertainment that they can enjoy from it. And finally, really delve into what it is that makes you love it. By never losing sight of that, you'll always keep your focus and energy in the right place. Escaping perfectionism, but balancing quality and quantity. Let me know in the comments below if you recognise this, but I can easily become overwhelmed and paralysed by the need to make something perfect. Yeah, this is particularly true when we take big new leaps into the unknown, big new projects. I remember it took me literally about 2 months to post my first YouTube video on this channel. I was trying to get the perfect lines, get the music fading in, and of course the irony is that my 10th, 20th and 30th videos on the channel were better just from the act of repeating the process. So don't always get hooked up on quality. It depends, of course, what you're doing, but I found that progress and quality often come from iterative steps forward, and it also takes the pressure off a little bit. The other side of this equation, your relationship to perfectionism, is trying to achieve too much and do too much in the time. So I think there's an argument for a side hustle to just make it 10% of your workload. That's achievable, right? You don't have to give up the rest of your life, but equally, it is unbelievable what you can get done in, let's say, 4 to 5 hours of a working week, 10% of your working week. Think about it. Rule number 3, find a way to be held accountable. If you are going solo and trying to make something happen on your own, like many side hustles tend to be, like I am with Better Creating, it can be very hard to keep consistent and motivated. This is a classic battle, for example, for content creators, and I found that the best approach to putting out regular content has been to set real hard deadlines. By making, for example, a public commitment, however, to an audience about when I publish, I'm actually creating a deadline that I'm accountable to because I've made a promise to people, to you guys. I'm gonna put this out every Friday afternoon. That's really made a difference. So big thanks to you lot for making, me keep making stuff. You really bring pleasure to the process. So what am I talking about? Of course it will sometimes slip and go wrong, but I'm doing okay, I think. I missed it last week. Classic, making a thing about staying consistent, but you know, you have to flex and adjust. Another approach is to find an accountability buddy. So someone that can sit down with you on the phone, on Zoom, in person, and hold you to account, check that you're doing what you need to be doing. Now this said, guys, mindlessly, 100% committing to a deadline can be equally as damaging. We have to listen to what's realistic, and setting deadlines that are achievable is just as important to make them stick and avoid that dreaded burnout mode. Rule number 4, double the lead time. Now this one follows on nicely from the last point, and that is to say, however long you think it will take to hit a deadline, double it. That sounds like you're giving up, but trust me, to explain this one in the spirit of efficiency, here's me from 20 videos ago on the channel talking about ways to simplify your life and the idea of the planning fallacy. So like it or not, most of us carry an optimism bias and underestimate the time needed to complete a future task. According to Daniel Kahneman in Thinking Fast and Slow, the planning fallacy is that you make a plan, which is usually a best case scenario, then you assume that the outcome will follow your plan, even when you should know better. We hopefully predict that we will complete our own planned projects unrealistically, where conversely, outsiders are more likely to show a pessimistic bias. The result is an overloaded and packed daily experience. Too much to do in too short a time is the same as a messy and cluttered space. Too many things that have far less value. Taking into account the planning fallacy, adding, let's say, literally 50% early on to what you think it's going to take, what you're actually doing is allowing space to make each period of time be about quality rather than quantity. That was me a while ago. Now, the next 3 rules are my favourite for managing my time more effectively. They really help with side hustles. But before we do that, if you're finding value from this video, please go ahead and hit the like button below. It would really make a difference and build the channel. I really appreciate your support, other than, of course, subscribing if you're not. What, sorry? That you stop wasting your time and get on with the video. It's a good point. Here are my time management rules. Time block. So time blocking, this is a positive way to talk about essentially micromanaging your time in a calendar. I love time blocking as it allows me to ensure I will always get a video done each week on the channel, whatever else is happening in the week. So for example, this week, where I've been rehearsing 9 till 6 every day, I've been planning to get this work done in little 60 or 90 minute slots to plan or edit or upload. And it means that I'm not attempting everything just in like one day in a weekend, because it doesn't allow for kind of unexpected errors. I found using something like Google Calendar or a simple table in Notion, for example, are great ways to do this. So a natural follow-on to time blocking is the idea that we should take tiny steps. By breaking down the work you want to get done into manageable chunks, you're not going to be overwhelmed by trying to do the whole thing at once. It also allows you to iteratively improve your process, streamline it, reflect on it as you go. A good example of this is when I'm like developing ideas for these videos. So it might be that I spend a little bit of time just writing titles. Another sitting might be to film and so on and so forth. But breaking this down, little chunks, it grows into a thing, and it also means that you're doing a process that's based on success, little achievements rather than setting yourself a massive thing and never achieving any of it. This rule is to batch task and contextualize everything. Grouping work processes by context. It's an idea that David Allen advocates in Getting Things Done. Many people talk about it, but when organizing tasks, you give them each a context, so that might be a person, a place, or a thing. Now why that's so good is, it doesn't mean you spend extra energy and time jumping between different contexts. So I'm not going off to my emails, doing a phone call, doing a bit of filming, going back to this writing. Everything on my computer is one sitting. Everything on email is another. It's great for things like filming because it means that I can contextualize it by filming gear. So I can set up and film several videos in one go. Massively cuts the amount of time and energy I have. So I thoroughly recommend you thinking about how you could use context in your own processes to minimize the extra energy you spend on something. It's an absolute game changer. Rule number 8, develop systems to organize everything. Creating aids that simplify and most importantly automate your workflow can really, really help you keep a side hustle manageable alongside other work. So for me, that's been about using a Notion dashboard to plan out my projects, automating the tasks that I need to come back to me, all of that kind of stuff. Check out my other videos on weekly planning in Notion for great examples of this in action. Whatever it is, it all comes back to that central principle that by removing all the additional stuff you have to hold in your brain, you're able to get more done in the moment. Rule number 9, work smarter, not more. Okay, look at this old clip of me running into a wall. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like a crap metaphor for knowing that you don't have to repeatedly run into a wall to know it hurts or something. The reason I share this is because by making better decisions rather than working harder and throwing more time and energy at something, we get more efficient and effective. So the simplest way I think to do this, to work smarter and focus your energy, is to regularly reflect and review your approach. It's not easy to have time to reflect on a process, I think, particularly when you're fitting it in around other things. But I think this is a mistake. Reflecting on your process, like the wins, the losses, means that you're able to identify how you can improve it. So by taking time once a month to do this has meant that I've actually been able to really identify where I've been going off into kind of creative rabbit holes or wasting my time where it wasn't helpful. A couple of examples of this are realising that I write more effectively and think up ideas in the morning, so planning time for that then rather than the evenings. Or, particularly interesting with this is by actually taking much more time to plan and script out a piece of work, a video, whatever it is, I massively cut the amount of time I take to film it. Overall, that's a much better use of time. So I really believe that implementing a few of these rules can massively have a positive impact on getting things done in your side hustle, finding more enjoyment from it, and finding a balance to your work life. I'd love it if you hit the like button if you found this valuable. It would be amazing if you left some comments. It would be awesome if you subscribed if you're not already. And whatever happens, I'll see you in the next one.